The name is Peter Speirs, not born locally, born in Wagga Wagga, which is something you're reluctant to admit, but arrived at the age of 3, adopted into a family at Reefton, and in schooling terms spent 1 year in Reefton, 1 year in Barmedman, 1 year back in Reefton, and then 4 years in Temora at the very beginning of Temora Public Primary School. Out on the farm was a long way away, no bus services in those days, so grandparents filled the order of the day. And as young kids, we rode everywhere on our push bikes, member of the Cubs, and did all sorts of things. Some that we shouldn't have done, but all enjoyable. Growing up in Temora and getting a feel for Temora as a town. I left school in 1960 and along with a very dear friend, the late Murray Thompson, we spent a lot of time in the junior farmers, became rural youth movement later, also a Sunday school teacher at the Methodist Church, but progress was slightly halted because I lost an arm farming in 1965, and so that demanded a bit of a change of the way in which you approached jobs and did everything. Before joining council or holding my hand up, as I said, I was involved with the rural youth movement and later on the Agricultural Bureau, and along with Neville Thompson, he was the inaugural president, I was the inaugural secretary-treasurer, and still a member, a life member of that, and became a regional councillor within the Ag Bureau and state councillor with the Ag Bureau. I've always said there are 3 elements in successful local government. There is the councillors, there is the staff, and there's the community. And if all 3 are heading in the one direction, that community is going to kick goals, is going to win. Many recognitions over the years that have involved not only in Australia but our sister city in Japan. I was made or given the honour of being nominated as an honorary citizen of Azumazaki, which came with its medals and chains and everything, which was really touched the heart. The biggest impact in my life was getting married and having a family. I mean, that was awesome, you know, and had a family of 3 girls and a boy, and to be able to be as a parent, but also as a farmer, and they never knew anything else, but Dad was on council sort of thing. To be part of that community, watching them grow. I mean, every parent must go through that, and the pride that's associated with that, and the challenges that are associated with that, and with the backdrop of farming, with its droughts and flooding rains and mice and grasshoppers and dust and all the challenges of farming, made that parenthood a little bit more challenging. But I think it welded together, and my wife and I have talked about it on many occasions, that commitment to our community. Because I as an individual couldn't do it without that level of support coming from her and from the family over those years. It's been tremendous. And when we lost our son with melanoma cancer, the community rallied for us in a way that you just can't explain. It's that support level there in a small community is just fantastic. And it's one of the jewels in a small community's crown, and Temora certainly got it. The love of Temora comes, and I say Temora, but I mean Temora Shire, because many of us tend to think that the boundaries are just around this town, but this community extends to the whole Shire area. And the great attributes of it is the generosity of this community, and it never ceases to amaze me that even in the worst drought that we had experienced, the volunteer organisations raising funds for communities and the needy outside of our community staggered me. And I suppose that's the bottom line to everything. My involvement in Temora is my passion, my love for Temora as a community, and I mean the Temora Shire as a community, the whole box and dice, warts and all. Love it and continue to do so.